Ladies and gentlemen, imagine a moment when the quiet of the night is suddenly broken by the sound of sirens, the sky flashing with streaks of light, and the world watching closely as history unfolds in real time. In today's rapidly changing world, conflicts are no longer fought only on distant battlefields. They are fought through technology, strategy, intelligence, and powerful decisions that can change global stability within minutes. In the Middle East, the long-standing tension between Iran and Israel has become one of the most closely watched rivalries in international politics. Every move, every strike, and every response carries consequences that reach far beyond their borders. Military bases, missile defense systems, drones, and advanced surveillance technologies have turned modern warfare into a high-stakes strategic game where a single moment can shift the balance of power. But this story is not just about weapons or military strength. It is about strategy, influence, and the messages nations send to each other and to the world. What happens in these moments can shape alliances, regional stability, and the future of global security. So stay with me until the end, because what we are about to explore is not just a conflict, it is a powerful example of how modern geopolitics works and why every decision on this stage matters. The conflict between Iran and Israel has developed over decades and has increasingly moved from indirect rivalry to direct military confrontation. For many years, the two countries avoided direct warfare, but competed through intelligence operations, cyber attacks, and regional proxy groups across the Middle East. In recent times, the nature of the conflict has shifted significantly with the growing use of advanced military technology, such as ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, unmanned aerial vehicles, commonly known as drones. These weapons allow attacks to be launched from long distances without sending large numbers of troops into direct combat. Drone swarms can overwhelm air defense systems, while precision missiles can target specific military facilities such as airbases, radar stations, and command centers. Each strike is often followed by retaliatory actions, creating a cycle of escalation in which both sides respond to perceived aggression with further military operations. These exchanges are also connected to broader regional tensions involving allied groups and neighboring countries. The rivalry is shaped by political ideology, security concerns, and competition for influence in the Middle East, making the conflict not only a military struggle but also a strategic contest for regional power and deterrence. In April 2024, Iran carried out one of the largest direct military actions in its history against Israel. The operation involved launching more than 300 aerial weapons, including ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and unmanned aerial drones. The strike was widely reported as a response to an earlier attack on an Iranian diplomatic facility in Damascus, Syria, which resulted in the deaths of several Iranian military officials associated with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Iran announced that the attack was intended as retaliation and a demonstration of its capability to strike targets far beyond its borders. Many of the projectiles traveled hundreds of kilometers across the Middle East, passing through airspace monitored by multiple countries before reaching Israeli territory. Israel activated its advanced missile defense systems and coordinated with allies to intercept most of the incoming threats. Systems such as Iron Dome, Arrow Missile Defense System, and David Sling were used to detect, track, and destroy many of the missiles and drones before they reached their intended targets. The event demonstrated the scale of modern missile warfare and highlighted the growing role of integrated air defense network. It also marked a rare moment of open direct confrontation between the two countries rather than in direct conflict through regional partners. In modern military strategy, key targets during conflicts often include air bases, intelligence facilities, radar stations, and other forms of strategic infrastructure, because these locations control critical aspects of a nation, as defense and offensive capabilities. When countries such as Iran and Israel are involved in high-tension confrontations, striking these sites can weaken the opponent's ability to respond effectively. Air bases are particularly important because they house fighter jets, surveillance aircraft, fuel supplies, and maintenance equipment that support aerial operation. If an air base is damaged or temporarily disabled, aircraft cannot launch missions, which immediately reduces air power and surveillance coverage. Intelligence centers and command facilities are also crucial targets because they collect satellite data, radar information, and battlefield communications that help military leaders make strategic decisions. Disrupting these centers can slow down response times and create confusion in military coordination. Radar and missile defense installations are frequently targeted as well because they detect incoming threats and guide interception systems designed to destroy missiles or drones before they reach their targets. Destroying or damaging these systems can create gaps in defensive coverage. Attacks on such infrastructure are often carried out using precision missiles, long-range drones, or cyber operations designed to disrupt electronic systems without requiring large troop deployments. Strategic targeting aims to weaken operational effectiveness rather than simply cause widespread destruction. Modern warfare has rapidly evolved with the widespread use of advanced missile systems and unmanned aerial technology, especially in conflicts involving countries such as Iran and Israel. Ballistic missiles are one of the most powerful weapons used in modern conflicts. These missiles are launched high into the atmosphere and travel along a curved trajectory before descending toward their targets at extremely high speeds, making them difficult to intercept. Cruise missiles function differently, flying at lower altitudes and using onboard guidance systems, radar, and terrain mapping technology to accurately reach their targets with high precision. In addition to these missile systems, loitering drones have become an increasingly important tool in military operations. These drones are designed to remain in the air for extended periods while searching for targets, and once a target is identified, the drone can dive directly toward it and detonate on impact. This type of weapon combines surveillance and strike capability in a single system. The use of these technologies allows countries to conduct long-range attacks without deploying large numbers of soldiers on the battlefield. Advanced guidance systems, satellite navigation, and real-time intelligence make these weapons highly precise, enabling militaries to focus on strategic targets such as military installations, radar systems, or supply facilities while reducing the need for traditional large-scale ground warfare. Military bases play a critical role in national defense because they serve as central locations where major military operations are planned, coordinated, and executed. In conflicts involving countries such as Iran and Israel, these bases become extremely important strategic assets because they host aircraft, advanced defense systems, and communication networks that support both defensive and offensive missions. Air power is one of the most significant elements controlled from military bases. Fighter jets, reconnaissance aircraft, and transport planes are stationed at air bases where they can be quickly deployed during emergencies or military operations. These aircraft depend on runways, fuel storage, maintenance facilities, and trained personnel located within the base. Surveillance and intelligence operations are also coordinated from such facilities using radar systems, satellite communication, and monitoring equipment that track potential threats across long distances. Command and control centers within these bases allow military leaders to analyze information, communicate with units in different locations, and make strategic decisions in real time. When a base is functioning properly, acts as the operational brain of military activity. Because of this importance, damaging or disabling a key base can disrupt aircraft operations, interrupt communication networks, and weaken a country. Ability to organize defensive responses or launch counterattacks during a conflict. In modern military strategy, weakening an opponent's command and control system is considered one of the most effective ways to reduce their ability to respond during a conflict. Command and control refers to the network of decision-making centers, communication systems, surveillance technologies, and operational leadership that coordinate military action. In tensions involving countries such as Iran and Israel, military planners often prioritize these systems because they function as the central nervous system of the armed forces. Command centers collect information from satellites, radar installations, reconnaissance aircraft, and intelligence units, allowing military leaders to understand what is happening on the battlefield in real time. Once the information is analyzed, orders are sent through secure communication networks to fighter pilots, missile units, naval forces, and ground troops. If these command networks are disrupted or destroyed, the flow of information slows down or stops completely. This can cause confusion among military units, delay decision-making, and prevent coordinated responses to incoming threats. Attacks on command and control systems may involve precision missile strikes on headquarters buildings, cyber operations targeting communication networks, or electronic warfare that jams signals and radar systems. Disabling these systems can make even a technologically advanced military less effective because its forces may struggle to operate in a coordinated and organized manner. Drone warfare has become one of the most influential developments in modern military strategy because it allows countries to conduct surveillance and attacks without risking large numbers of soldiers. In conflicts involving nations such as Iran and Israel, drones are widely used due to their relatively low production cost and their ability to perform multiple roles during military operations. Unmanned aerial vehicles can be used for reconnaissance missions, where they fly over long distances to capture high-resolution images, track troop movements, and monitor strategic locations such as airbases or missile installations. Some drones are designed purely for observation, while others carry explosives and function as attack weapons capable of striking specific targets with precision. One of the most significant tactical advantages of drone warfare is the ability to launch large numbers of drones at the same time, often referred to as drone swarms. When dozens of drones approach a target simultaneously, they can overwhelm air defense systems that are designed to intercept only a limited number of threats at once. Even if many drones are intercepted, a few may still reach their intended targets. Drones can also fly at relatively low altitudes and change direction quickly, making them harder to detect by radar. Their flexibility, range, and cost-effectiveness have made them a central tool in modern military operations. Tensions between Iran and Israel are closely connected to broader geopolitical dynamics across the Middle East, where multiple countries and armed groups are involved in a complex network of alliances, rivalries, and strategic interests. These regional relationships mean that conflicts between the two nations rarely remain isolated events. Various political and military actors across countries such as Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, and Yemen play roles that can influence the scale and direction of the conflict. Iran maintains relationships with several regional groups and governments that share similar political or security goals, while Israel has strong partnerships with countries that support its security and defense strategies. Because of these connections, military actions or retaliatory strikes between the two countries can quickly involve additional actors who may provide logistical support, intelligence cooperation, or direct military assistance. The geographical proximity of many Middle Eastern nations also increases the risk that missile launches, drone flights, or air operations could cross multiple borders and airspaces, creating wider security concerns. Energy routes, shipping lanes, and international trade corridors located in the region add another layer of global significance to the situation. As a result, any escalation between these two countries can influence diplomatic relations, regional stability, and international security calculations across the entire Middle East. Radar systems and missile interceptors form the backbone of modern air and missile defense networks, making them critical targets during military conflicts. In situations involving countries such as Iran and Israel, these systems play a vital role in detecting and stopping incoming threats, such as ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and drones. Radar installations constantly scan the skies using electromagnetic waves to detect objects moving through the air. When a missile or drone is detected, the radar calculates its speed, altitude, and trajectory, allowing defense systems to predict where the object is heading. This information is then transmitted to interceptor systems designed to destroy the incoming threat before it reaches its target. Interceptor missiles are launched from ground-based platforms and guided toward the approaching object using radar tracking and advanced targeting systems. Because these defenses are essential for protecting cities, military bases, and strategic infrastructure, destroying or disabling radar stations can significantly weaken a country as defensive capabilities. If radar coverage is reduced, incoming missiles or drones may go undetected for longer periods, leaving less time for interception. As a result, military planners often prioritize attacks on radar facilities and missile defense components using precision strikes, electronic warfare, or cyber operations aimed at disrupting the sensors and communication networks that support these defensive systems. Strategic military bases are often described as the heart of military operations because they serve as central hubs where planning, coordination, and execution of defense activities take place. In the context of tensions involving countries such as Iran and Israel, these bases hold immense importance due to the range of capabilities concentrated within a single location. A strategic base typically houses fighter aircraft, surveillance drones, missile systems, radar installations, fuel depots, and maintenance facilities that support continuous military readiness. These bases also contain command centers where senior military officers analyze intelligence data and coordinate responses to potential threats. Communication systems located within the base connect different branches of the military, including air forces, ground troops, and naval units, enabling them to operate together during complex missions. Because of this concentration of resources and decision-making power, the functionality of a single base can influence a large portion of a country as defensive strength. If a strategic base becomes damaged or temporarily disabled, aircraft may not be able to take off, radar coverage may be interrupted, and communication between military units may be slowed or disrupted. For this reason, military planners often focus on protecting these bases with strong air defense systems, while adversaries may consider them high-value targets during conflicts. In international conflicts, military strikes are often designed not only to cause physical damage, but also to deliver a political and psychological message to the opponent and the global community. When countries such as Iran and Israel carry out military operations, the action is usually carefully planned to demonstrate strength, capability, and determination. A strike against a strategic location, such as a military base, radar station, or intelligence facility, signals that the attacking country has the ability to reach important targets and overcome defensive systems. This type of action can influence how the opposing nation perceives the balance of power, potentially affecting future military planning and diplomatic negotiations. Psychological impact is also an important factor because such strikes can create fear, uncertainty, and pressure on both military leaders and civilian populations. Governments may use these operations to reassure their own citizens that they are capable of defending national interests and responding to perceived threats. At the same time, these actions are often intended to deter further aggression by warning the opponent that additional attacks could lead to even stronger retaliation. Military strikes, therefore, operate on multiple levels, combining strategic military objectives with symbolic demonstrations of power, influence, and resolve within the broader landscape of international politics and security competition. In conclusion, the tensions between Iran and Israel highlight how modern conflicts are shaped by advanced technology, strategic military planning, and powerful political messages. Missile strikes, drone warfare, and targeted attacks on military infrastructure show how warfare has evolved beyond traditional battlefields into highly precise and rapid operations. Strategic bases, radar systems, and command centers have become critical assets because they control air power, intelligence, and decision-making. When these facilities are targeted, the impact goes far beyond physical damage, influencing military strength, regional stability, and global security. This situation also demonstrates how regional alliances and geopolitical interests across the Middle East can quickly transform a localized conflict into a wider international concern. Every strike, response, and strategic move reflects not only military capability, but also the effort of each nation to send a clear political and psychological message to its opponent and to the world. Thank you all for listening to this speech. I truly appreciate your time and attention. I wish you the very best of luck in your learning, presentations, and future achievements. May your knowledge continue to grow and your confidence shine in every opportunity. Thank you and good luck to everyone.